Friends, let's be honest, the story of Donald J. Trump is anything but boring. It's a wild ride through real estate, reality TV, and politics, with more twists and turns than a game show obstacle course. And just like those game shows, sometimes you can't help but laugh. Born in Queens, New York, Donald wasn't exactly destined for a life of humility. He was the kid who traded up from Legos to building actual skyscrapers. And really, who can blame him? Miniature plastic bricks just don't scream luxury penthouse. After a stint at military school, where I'm sure he was voted most likely to declare bankruptcy, he went on to conquer the Ivy League, or at least attend it. The Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania bestowed upon him an economics degree, and thus the legend of Donald Trump, master dealmaker, was born. Now, I'm not saying he wasn't a bright guy, but let's just say his business acumen was more about charisma and chutzpah than, actual economics. He was the P.T. Barnum of real estate, always putting on a show. And boy, did we love to watch. Trump's real estate ventures were like his hair big, bold, and defying all laws of gravity. He slapped his name on everything from hotels to casinos to airlines, building a brand synonymous with opulence and, well, Trumpiness. He was the king of gilded elevators, the sultan of chandeliers, the emperor of gaudy excess. If there was a way to cover something in gold leaf, Donald probably did it, twice. But beneath the glitz and glamour, there were whispers of smoke and mirrors. Bankruptcies? Oh, those were just strategic business maneuvers. Failed projects? Mere stepping stones on the path to greatness. Hey, you can't argue with the man's ability to spin a yarn. He could sell ice to Eskimos, then convince them they needed a timeshare in Florida. The Apprentice. Never before had corporate boardrooms been so theatrical, so filled with dramatic pauses and pointed fingers. Trump, with his pursed lips and furrowed brows, became the ultimate arbiter of business acumen, deciding who had the smarts and who was, well, fired. The show was a cultural phenomenon, a guilty pleasure that let us all pretend we knew something about the cutthroat world of high finance. In reality, most of us were just there to see who Trump would berate next. But hey, give the man credit. He knew how to work a camera. He understood the power of reality TV, the way it blurred the lines between fact and fiction. And he rode that wave all the way to the White House. Section 4, Air Force One, Trump takes flight in the political arena. Now, I know what you're thinking. Donald Trump, President of the United States? It seemed like a joke at first, right? Like something out of a political satire where the punchline is that reality itself has jumped the shark. But lo and behold, the man who once hawked steaks and vodka decided to throw his hat in the ring for the highest office in the land. And the rest, as they say, is history. Or maybe it's more like a fever dream we're all collectively trying to forget. His campaign rallies were like his businesses, loud, boisterous, and full of promises that seemed too good to be true. He tapped into a vein of anger and frustration in the American electorate, promising to make America great again. Love him or hate him, you gotta admit, the man knew how to put on a show. Section 5. The tweets, the quotes, the gaffes, a comedy goldmine. Let's be honest, part of the reason we couldn't look away from the Trump presidency was the sheer entertainment value. The man was a walking, talking soundbite, a never-ending source of head-scratching quotes and baffling tweets. Remember Covfefe? Or the time he suggested injecting bleach as a cure for COVID-19? And who could forget the infamous Access Hollywood tape? It was like watching a car crash in slow motion, horrifying yet impossible to turn away from. His Twitter feed was a thing of beauty and a beast all at once. It was like a stream of consciousness from a man who'd never met a thought he didn't immediately blurt out to the world. He'd pick fights with celebrities, insult world leaders, and retweet conspiracy theories all before breakfast. It was exhausting. It was infuriating. And yeah, sometimes it was downright hilarious. Section 6. The legacy of the Donald laughs, gasps, and head-scratching moments. So, what's the legacy of Donald J. Trump? It's a mixed bag, to say the least. He'll be remembered for his tax cuts, his conservative judges, and his often chaotic approach to governing. But beyond the policies and the politics, he'll also be remembered for his larger-than-life personality, his penchant for self-promotion, and his uncanny ability to dominate the news cycle. He was the president who made us laugh, gasp, and scratch our heads in equal measure. He was a showman, a provocateur, and a master of self-promotion. And love him or hate him, There's no denying that he left an indelible mark on American history. So, the next time you're feeling nostalgic for the absurdity that was the Trump era, just remember, you can't make this stuff up. Well, maybe he could.